Thanks. Good to go? Okay, so bravery, something that I feel quite uncomfortable about talking about. So yeah, like Cara said, I'm a designer, but I'm not really going to talk about my work very much. I'm going to talk about quite a personal story, and I'm now like, after hearing everybody, I'm like, why did I agree to do this? This is a terrible idea. But anyway, I'm going to talk about bravery's evil twin, fear. Story. Whenever I was 18, I was asked to do a reading in school assembly, and I was so scared about doing this that I actually paid my friend to do it, and I bunked off school that day and didn't go. The irony of this is not lost on me. This is my worst nightmare right here, so I feel like I could just drop the mic and like walk away right now. This is a photo of the Studio Stereo team in 2012. To my left is my husband Craig, and the other side of me is Johnny and Jordan. That was our wee team. We set up the business, Craig and I, in 2008. And it was 3 weeks before the recession, which was great crack. I'd recommend it to anybody. So if at that point in time, in 2012, anyone had have asked me, describe your biggest fear, in a heartbeat, I would have said to you, and if I'm being really honest, for Craig to die. I guess everybody who's married probably feels that way. And then in some bizarre, strange twist of fate, it actually happened. 20th of December 2014, nearly 2 years ago, Craig died very suddenly. It was sudden adult death, and he didn't see it coming, thankfully, but neither did I. And the bottom fell out of my world. I was 29. We had a 2.5-year-old daughter, and I was 16 weeks pregnant with our second child. So, needless to say, I was standing on a cliff edge, saying, "What now?" And I guess, you know, it's been a continual, ongoing question for the last 2 years, and I apologise because a cheesy quote is about to come up, and there are 3 of them, so please forgive me. Expose yourself to your deepest fear. After that, fear has no power, and the fear of freedom shrinks and vanishes. You are free. Okay, so I didn't expose myself to this fear. It happened to me like a nuclear bomb, and I suppose in the wake of that, I went numb, but I also became utterly fearless. So I stood up at Craig's funeral and I delivered a eulogy in front of 850 people, and I did not care that I was up on stage and talking. And something happened to me then in that, where I realised, what really do I have to fear? So I started saying yes to things that scared me. And in doing that, I've kind of discovered that brave isn't something you are, it's something you do. I always thought like bravery was kind of an inherent thing that maybe some people had a bit more of than others. Turns out I completely disagree with that now. And it's kind of like just working really, really hard. So yeah, I said I was a designer, and yeah, we have clients who come into us sometimes and they're looking for a rebrand, and we look at what they have and we say, this sucks, you need to just like chuck everything in the bin and start again. And needless to say, they're not falling over themselves for that usually. They're kind of reluctant because change is painful. And I like this analogy of this little like muscle thing. I know nothing about making muscles, as you can see, but I know enough about the theory to know that if you want to get strong and if you want to like be ripped, you need to rip the muscles, and it's going to hurt. Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. Cheesy quote number 2, apologies. I didn't fact check this, who knows if Winston said it or not. But that's it, like that's the thing for me, it's just like keep on going, you know, and that is kind of, I come back to that nearly every day, and that's okay. This guy here, his name is Horatio Spafford. He wrote this hymn called It Is Well With My Soul. What I didn't know about that was that he wrote it in the wake of his 4 daughters perishing in a shipwreck. And I was like, I want to be like this guy. I want to be the person who can say that. And he started this movement, and other people called them the Overcomers, which I thought was pretty cool. Not just surviving, but overcoming. And I'm like, I want a bit of that for me. So again, back to saying yes. So my new mantra for life is do scary stuff. Hi, I'm here. The first thing, the series of things were kind of thrust upon me. So I had to learn to drive. I couldn't drive. I had to have a baby without my husband and continue on that pregnancy to the end. That's me on my due date looking rotund, some might say. And that was probably my biggest fear, just the whole, like, you know, single mum, 2 kids. I did not plan this. And do I get brave points for this hideous photo of me seconds after my son was born in May 2015? This lady here was my birth partner and midwife, and is an all-round kick-ass woman. I feel like I should just say for the record. But yeah, I suppose those are the things thrust upon me. And then I entitled this slide, While My Back Was Turned. This is pretty much like my life, a lot. And but there's something in that where I'm like, embrace the whole culture of bravery, because some days look like that and I actually just want to run away. So one of my processes in kind of coming to terms with everything that happened to me was I started to blog. It sounds like a bit of a cliche, but I love to write. I always have. I just never had anything to write about, so joke's on me. So I started this blog, faithandfortitude.co.uk, shameless plug. If you want some light reading, you know, just get plugged into that. But it was good. And the other very central thing in my life, my work. We're still here. We survived 2015, and top kudos to Johnny, who stepped up and became a partner in the business, because I was away off being on maternity leave and being like a, you know, like widow who was miserable. But again, sorry for the quote. Most people believe vulnerability is weakness, but really vulnerability is courage. We must ask ourselves, are we willing to show up and be seen? And I stick this on top of a photo of my 2 little kids from a few weeks ago, because I want them to grow up in a world where the worst can happen, but they know that they don't have to be afraid. Thank you.